Hello! So I wanted to offer my thoughts on the current storm in the indie teacup by making a video about game developer tools. And by tools, I mean that in both ways. Recently, people, or a person, have been kind of bad-mouthing tools like Game Maker and Unity and things like that because various reasons, and I wanted to just kind of say, what? There are a few arguments against using things like Unity and Game Maker, and they're ridiculous. First, the argument that, oh, it's easier, so you shouldn't start with it. That's just logically insane. Surely you should start with something easier. You don't teach people maths by showing them quantum theory. You teach them maths by teaching them addition and subtraction and things like that. To say that developing a game in an engine is lazy because you don't build the engine yourself is missing the point of the effort of game development is not solely on coding. You know, if you have a team of developers, is the only effort going into that game the guy who's programming the engine, or is it the person who's thought of the mechanics of the game and designed them and scripted them out or whatever, or the person doing the art or the soundtrack or, the level design, any of these things, they all take effort. I'm terrible at level design. I have to put so much thought into level design because I just can't, I don't have a brain for it, and, that makes it really difficult for me. And there's a lot of effort that I put into game level design, which isn't, regardless of who's doing the engine, level design needs to be done to make a decent game. And, that's effort. It's not, the engine isn't the only difficulty in it, Ed McMillan is not lazy because Tommy Ruffenez did the engine for Super Meat Boy. He still, he put a lot of effort into making the art for that game and designing the levels and stuff. He's not lazy. He put a lot of effort into that game. If you watch Indie Game the movie, he just looks physically tired by the process of it all because he's putting effort into it. He's not a lazy person. He's not lazy because he didn't code the engine on the game he's working on. I mean, I think in the end, what you have to think about is, what is the end result of what I'm doing? And how long do I want to spend on it? How long do I have to spend on it? Because I'm not right now, but I'm studying at university, and I don't have as much time to spend on game development as I would like, whether it's through, spending time with my friends or, studying for my degree, which I'm paying out the nose for. I still want to make games, and I put as much time into it as I feel I can, and when I have, the energy to do it. And if I was to make an engine from scratch for every single game I made, I just wouldn't get anything done, and I wouldn't be happy about that at all. And, for me, it's about making games. It's not making engines, and they are very closely linked, and making engines is important. I have a huge amount of respect for anyone who can code an engine, whether it's by themselves or, like, the people at Unity. It's a phenomenal amount of work, and I respect that. And where does sort of reusing engines come into this argument? Like Valve, they use the Source engine for pretty much everything. And, were all their games past whatever they made it for lazy? Just realise that what's important in game development is not where the effort goes into it, but it is the effort that goes into it. I've made games in Unity that I've poured my heart and soul into, and, it takes a lot. It's not just click button game, as some people seem to think it is. Just because I didn't, go down into the assembly code and build my own operating system or whatever, doesn't mean that there hasn't been effort put into the games I make. Traverse, I made that while my university exams were looming and in fact happening, and I would sort of study for my exams for 6-7 hours, and then I would maybe have dinner or something, and then spend like 4 or 5 hours working on a game. And if that's, being lazy, then, well, alright then I'm lazy.